Hello, welcome everyone. How are we doing today? Welcome to today's session. Today we'll be talking about the fact that there are positive ways and there are also negative ways to discipline. I think we've talked a lot about not doing the negative things. We've also talked about the positive things, but I just want to bring this to a head. I don't know about you, but even though there are so many other things that we can talk about under discipline, I'm getting to think, is this the only thing we can actually talk about? So, this may be one of the very last sessions we're going to have on this topic for a while. Good afternoon, Mrs. Ogunlesi. Welcome. I can see we have somebody else online. Welcome, everybody. So, the positive approach to discipline. There are many other approaches, but we want to look at what is positive. I don't know about you, but I personally don't like too much of negativity around me, and I don't think that a lot of us do very well when we are surrounded with negative vibes. So if we don't like it, guess what? The children definitely don't like it. Good afternoon, Mrs. Odunano. Welcome. Okay, so a lot of us, when we think about discipline, let's be candid, even though I've been talking about this for some weeks now. When we think about discipline, the first thing that comes to our mind is punishment. And it's all over the world. It's not just with us in Nigeria. It's all over the world. The first thing that comes to mind is punishment. But really, discipline is not punishment. Discipline is teaching people what to do, learning, training to do the right thing at the right time, learning to control oneself so it is not our emotions that rule our reactions to things that happen around us, because really things go bad and they go wrong when we just react and our emotions take hold of whatever is going on around us. So when we're talking discipline, it's basically teaching our children. And if we're going to teach the children, one of the things that really helps is for us to have ground rules. Ground rules help. When the children know exactly what is expected of them, then it's easier to actually get a community that does the right thing. If they don't know what to do, then why are we expecting them to do the right thing? So the first thing we need to do, whether this is within a family setting or within the classroom setting, within the school, we must have ground rules. That's why there are rules. Let's come together, talk about these rules, make it explicit, but do it in a positive way. Instead of telling the children, don't do this, don't do that, it's good to tell them what you expect of them, and even, as we've said severally, to model it, role model, play it out, so you can act it out, and they will enjoy doing that, so that they know exactly what is expected of them. Now, what happens when they don't actually do what they're supposed to do? Do we get angry and just tell them off? I don't think that would be the right thing to do, because it will just explode into what it shouldn't explode into, and it will defeat all your great plans of helping your child to be disciplined in a positive way. So what do? You've already explained, you've agreed, you've role played, they understand what needs to happen, and yet they get it wrong. Don't get angry, because we've got to remember that even with us, it took us a long while to get to where we are today. We didn't learn everything immediately. we had to go through a process of learning, making mistakes, being corrected, and probably not corrected the right way. That's why we're having to have this long discussion, and I hope that it will help us with being positive and really helping our children to learn to be disciplined the right way, and a way that will help them to be disciplined adults as they grow up without the baggage that they have to take along with it. So what do you do when they do things in the wrong way and you've already talked to them about it, you've told them, you've talked about the rules? First thing, don't shout no. No is not something that encourages people to do the right thing. Yes, no says it's not allowed, yes, but can you say that in a better way? Can you help the child to remember what you had agreed on? Probably just gently remind them, or firmly say to them, this is not the way we behave, right? You know what is expected. Can you do this instead of what you're doing? Be firm, but don't shout, don't scream at them. It helps. You'll see that the child will actually realize that, okay. And then they will go back to what they were supposed to be doing. No child was born evil. I find it very difficult to understand why sometimes we think that these children are bad and that it is through punishment that we can help them to be good. They don't know their right from their left. It is easier to do the wrong thing sometimes because maybe that's the easiest thing to do, and then you can help the child to realize that it's not the easiest actions that actually bring about really good results at the end of the day. These are learning points. Instead of using it as a time to get angry with the child, it's much better for us to use it as a learning tool. The situations, all situations that we find with the children are learning tools to help us, to help them to see the better choices that they could make. Life is about choices, and we have to teach our children how to make the right choices. This is one of the reasons why the Montessori setting actually helps the child with practically making choices every day. If we make the choices for the child all the time, they will not be able to decide what is right from what is wrong. You've got to help them to see this is the way we behave, and then pull back and let them make those decisions. And as they make the decisions, you will see what they're doing, whether they're making the right decisions or not making the right decisions. And when they're not making the right decisions, what we need to do is to firmly bring them back to where they need to be. If, for example, what they're doing would cause damage or hurt to another person, then we need to firmly bring them back to where they need to be and help them to see that what they're doing is not helping either the person next to them or the environment or the next person who is going to need whatever it is that they're working with or playing with, whatever it is that the child is doing. So there are positive ways. Saying no does not help. I think I'm going to post something about, I have something somewhere about the positive ways that we can correct. I will try and fish it out and post that to actually give us some information about what to do. Now, can we talk about everything in this session? No, I really want to just come on and talk for about 5 minutes, but most of the time I find that my talks usually span between 20 to maybe 15 minutes to 20 minutes before I'm done. We can't talk about everything. I've taken everything in small tiny bits, and hopefully this will be helpful to somebody. This is Ayokwe Jufalikulo saying hello and bye-bye. Thank you for being here.